But we got to begin with everything surrounding a potential Brandon Aiyuk trade after this.
Yeah, we made the rundown last night, and the rundown we're going to do today looks completely different than what we initially sent out, and that's the beauty of UCSS. We can adapt on the fly. It's also the beauty of FanDuel, because if the bet you're looking for isn't there tonight, it's assured to be there tomorrow, because FanDuel is the #1 sportsbook in America. You guys know I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop, but as the summer days go on, we get fewer and fewer games, and the sports just aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone every day all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball and the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Now, Bull, you alluded to this a second ago, but the smoke between the Browns and Brandon Aiyuk continues to get more and more drastic, and the tidal wave of reporting on this situation has been a roller coaster. So let's start from the beginning.
And some of this is an example, to be honest, of bad reporting and what's the word I'm looking for?
Aggregation?
Aggregation, which people have been complaining about. It's that idiot Dove Kleinman, whoever the hell he is. I don't know why people got to stop tweeting what he puts out there, and because. Let's face it. When before Elon Musk, it's nothing to do with him or politics or anything. It really is not. But before he took over Twitter, you kind of knew who you could trust on Twitter because the blue check mark had value. Now the blue check mark has zero value, and you're not sure what's legit and what's not. You can't even judge it by the amount of Twitter followers because some of these aggregator tweets. I'm driving in. I put on the radio for a second. My old buddies Jeff and Andy, and they're referencing some Twitter handle online that I've never heard of. It's an aggregation. I mean, I heard of it, but it's like one of these aggregation things. You have no idea if it's legit. So you got to be careful. What's happened with some of this reporting is strange, and I think ultimately one of the strangest things is that the big guns haven't reported any of this.
Well,
right?
Let's take people on a timeline of the reporting.
Yeah, go ahead.
They're not as up to date as
fair.
We are
go
with
ahead.
What's happened.
Give us a timeline.
It all started over the weekend when someone named Cam Marino, who used to work for USA Today, and now he's an NFL draft scout, put out this tweet that we referenced yesterday. The Patriots and Browns are the front runners in trade discussions for 49ers star receiver Brandon Aiyuk. Both teams offer more than $30 million. The Steelers could be in the mix. Yada yada yada.
Now, again, I never heard. Have you heard of this guy, Cam Marino?
No.
Okay. It doesn't mean he doesn't have a legitimate source. Right. I don't know. He has no. I don't know anybody that's heard of this guy. By the way, you say he's an NFL draft scout. He may have just put that in his Twitter bio. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just in his
I don't know that he's really an NFL draft scout. Again, I don't mean to disparage him. I just, he's not a source that we've ever used for any legitimate fashion. So I saw that. When I saw that, I didn't believe it.
So then last night,
yeah.
The next chapter in this saga, we discussed that tweet at length yesterday. Then this came late last night from Joe Macchio of NBC.
Joe Macchi, isn't it Matt?
Matt Macchi.
I believe it's Matt
Macchio, NBCS. Another guy who is big in the. It's Matt, by the way. It is Matt. Yeah. I don't know why I said Joe, but he tweeted this out last night from the 49ers on NBC Sports, which is a reputable.
Yeah, and this guy I know. You've heard of him probably, Jason.
Heard of him, don't know.
I don't know him either, but I've heard, he's been covering the Niners, Matt Mayoko, for a while. I think he's been covering them for a long time.
And this tweet essentially said that the Niners and the Browns and Patriots have agreed upon some sort of framework for a Brandon Aiyuk trade. Right. Now it's up to Aiyuk to decide whether or not to accept each team's contract extension.
Okay, so the conversations about this yesterday were... Again, personally, I don't know about you guys. I wasn't taking that first report seriously. The second one I took a little more seriously because Matt Mayoko I've heard of, and he's a legitimate beat reporter who's around the team. Now, it is still weird that there's been nothing from Schefter on this and nothing from Rappaport. Now,
that brings us to the last part of this, Bowl.
Okay, go ahead.
And this was from ESPN. Now, Schefter retweeted this report from Mike Reese, who is very much in the know with the Patriots. And he tweeted this out this morning. The Niners are now willing to listen to trade offers for Brandon Aiyuk and have given the star wide receiver permission to negotiate a contract with other teams. So from the ESPN standpoint, they are not nearly as far down the pathway as what Matt
Mayoko. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Had tweeted out the night before, which made it seem like they were right on the precipice. And
Yeah.
in the article from Matt Mayoko, which is going to bring us to the second part of the conversation after this, he alluded to the fact, based off a Mary Kay article, which was more of a column than an article.
Right, it was more,
that
it was
Amari
her
Cooper,
speculating.
Yeah,
It was
that
Mary
Cooper
Kay
would be
speculating,
part
yeah.
of the deal,
Right.
sending back to San Francisco in return for
Right,
Aiyuk.
and that really took off. I know Warren Sharp, who's an analytics guy, has a good site on analytics. He kind of ran with that, and he posted it as if that was being reported. So I don't know that that's being reported by anybody. Jason, as the reporter here, what do you make of the reporting around this? Now, obviously, sometimes Schefter and Rappaport get beat just because they're not on. It doesn't mean, that it's wrong.
No, but you're right. There's certain places that you take it immediately, and there's other places that you dismiss it. If it comes from ESPN, if it comes from NFL Network, if it comes from us, if it comes from The Athletic, I'd say it's pretty well locked down.
Yeah.
Some of these other ones, it's a lot of times it's just rumors.
Yeah.
I do think that there's interest on both sides. I have no idea how far down the line it is. I'm not going to pretend to know.
Right.
I don't know. The thing that I can't wrap my head around is what is the rush on San Francisco's end of this to do this?
To get them in the system so they can get chemistry before the season starts.
Because it's August, and I get it. Like, you want to have clarity, and you want to have you want to know who your team is going forward, and if there's a big trade coming, you want to get that guy time within your system. I get all that.
Wouldn't you wait for an injury or something?
I'm just a little bit surprised that San Francisco seems to be the one that's pushing this, and it's August.
Is he practicing?
I saw him on the field the other day.
He's not. He's holding in, not practicing. But
same as Jamar Chase.
Well, he's getting paid. Brandon Aiyuk is not.
Not by the Niners.
No, not by the Niners.
I'm a little bit baffled by the timeline, by just San Francisco's urgency on this to be. I guess if you're not going to pay him, then you want to get clarity on it, and you want to get your team in place, and you want to go.
I think that's why if the rumors are true, that's why they looking for the player in exchange so they can. Because they still gonna need, like, if you trade him and don't get a receiver back, you going in the season with Debo and a rookie.
Yeah.
And Juwan
now they
Jennings.
have Kittle, and obviously McCaffrey and Kittle are big part. But still, you're
still
trying to win. The Niners are trying to win a Super Bowl.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's like, I need to, if we're gonna trade him, we need to just go ahead, let's get rid of him and get the next guy in here so we can get him caught up to speed, because this is a team that penciled in for the Super Bowl this year. They got arguably the best roster in the NFL, so you might want to get your chemistry down. So week one, I don't know who they played week one, but you want to come out the gate just rolling. And I feel like if you are going to make this trade with the Browns, and Cooper would be the perfect part. I said this a couple weeks ago. I said Cooper would be perfect because he does exactly what Brandon Aiyuk does. And I always say, everybody's talking about, if Cooper's a part of it. Like yesterday, they all said they didn't want to do it if Cooper was a part of it.
So it was Jay, G, and Earl on the panel yesterday. All three said that they wouldn't do it if Amari Cooper had to be part of the deal.
Yes.
I'm assuming the three of us would do it. Would you do it if Amari has to be part of the deal? Or no?
I'm completely indifferent with it. If they traded Amari Cooper or if they didn't, to me, I feel like the rule has always been you trade a guy a year early than a year too late. That's always been what it is.
Yep.
And if he's 30 years old and you paid him to this point, you're not going to pay him next year, then why not?
Yeah.
And for the Niners, you're getting an established guy that runs really good routes, arguably the best route runner in football. And he's very productive. His production is about on par with what you got from him. The only issue that I have with this from a Brown standpoint is I don't know how Brandon Aiyuk will be as a number one. That bothers me because he has Debo, Kittle, and CMC. So he's like...
That's fair.
Exactly. It's a lot of people. Coop has been a number one since he's been here. He has been game plan. He's been double team, triple team. He knows how to defeat it all the time. Coop is the same guy that went in, I can't remember what game it was. They was playing a game. He figured out how he was being double teamed. Him and the quarterback drew it up on the sideline. Yeah, drew it up in the sand on the sideline of what to do. Boom, they hit a big play. So
That's a very fair argument.
My thing is, if you trade for Brandon Aiyuk, does he have that same ability? We don't know because he's never really been in that situation. Don't get me wrong. Debo got hurt last year for like 3 games.
He was the number one wide receiver.
Yeah,
Debo
got hurt for like 3 or 4 weeks, and I think one of those games he did have like 150 yards receiving. So he did. But again, you got CMC and you got Kittle, which you still if Nick Chubb comes back and you got Njoku, I guess.
Yeah.
It's in the same ballpark.
I mean, but
you can see my concern.
Yes, and Nick Chubb's not a part of the passing game like CMC is.
Right.
I mean, obviously he's a great back.
Yeah, so that to me is my only concern. But as far as, yes, he's younger. Yes, he's one of the best Brandon Aiyuk is younger, and he's a good route runner as well. They both can come in and essentially do the same thing. Coop can go right there and essentially, boom, play right today and be successful. If I'm Coop, I actually want to be a part of the deal. I hate to say that. I hate to say that as a Cleveland Browns fan. If I'm Coop and this opportunity is presented to me, I would be glad to be a part of the deal.
Explain again. You've said it before. Explain again why Cooper fits them so well.
Cooper fits them so well because he runs routes. So it's a timing thing. Kyle Shanahan has this thing. Brock Purdy, everybody's like, oh, he's a system quarterback. Okay, that's fine. Now if you're a system quarterback, then that means you're depending on your receivers to be all timing. And Coop is obviously one of the best. You can close your eyes, take a 3-step drop, and throw the ball in one spot and know where Coop's going to be because he's going to be there every time at that exact point.
Yeah.
So I think that if that's perfect for a guy like Brock Purdy, you don't need to improvise. He needs to run his route. He's going to win his route more times than not, and I'm going to get the ball to him as soon as I take my drop. 3-step, 5-step, whatever the case may be. He's going to be there. He's going to be open. So that is perfect for Kyle Shanahan's system. And like I said, if I'm Coop, I'm going to a team that's penciled into the Super Bowl. I'm going with one of the best, if not the best, offensive-minded coach in the game outside of Andy Reid, of course. And on top of that, I won't even be a number one. I'll be a number 2 because Debo and CMC and Kittle's going to require all this attention that now you're going to actually leave me one-on-one coverage? I ain't going to be the guy that you focused on? Oh, I'm about to eat.
And even when CMC's out for a few plays, Elijah Mitchell's a good back, too.
Yeah, I'm about to eat.
And here's the thing. Say what you want. I mean, the Niners have a better chance of getting the Super Bowl than the Browns do, if for no other reason that the NFC is not as good.
Yes.
Correct.
So, Jason, would you, if Amari, now I think we'd all rather Amari stay here and see because if you have all 3 guys, and Jerry Jeudy's your 3rd receiver, wow, now you're talking. It's only 1 year, but okay. But if he has to be part of the deal, are you doing it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And you brought up a very valid concern about Aiyuk. Here was my concern coming into today. What's this Browns offense going to look like? What system is he going to be in? Do we really know? And from what I saw, what I've seen of camp, and I was only in Greenbrier for 2 days. I was at camp yesterday. It's a lot of short and quick. Now, after I left Greenbrier, Deshaun started throwing it down the field a little bit more. But if it's all going to, if the majority of the offense is going to be short and quick, that to me is Brandon Aiyuk more than Amari Cooper.
I agree.
He can catch and run, catch in space and go more than what you expect. You're going to get Amari killed if you're asking Amari to do this catch and run. But I think Aiyuk is better suited for that if that's how they're going to operate. So I think I would do it, yes. I'm curious what the pick is going to be. If it is Cooper and a pick, I think it's going to be a lot higher of a pick than people realize because it's
what
only
do you think
1
it's
year.
going to be?
1 or 2.
You think Cooper and a 2?
Yeah. I don't think they're going to have to give up a 1. Aiyuk is not a superstar. He's very good.
I think other teams can beat the Browns deal.
Right, but
if
I think no.
But if Ayuk's not going to sign there,
that's the thing.
If you're Aiyuk, I mean, why would you go to New England? If you go to New England, you don't care about winning.
You get
if
the
they're going to pay you.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a big part of it. Too.
You know
I mean, he's in a. If winning was most important to him,
he would stay right where he is.
Well, but the difference is, I'm sure the Browns and Patriots would pay him about. If they're both willing to make the trade, that means they're both willing to pay him relatively the same money. I can't imagine it's much different.
You could probably get more. Because, I mean, you got a lot of people that's already paid for the Cleveland Browns, at some point.
But the Browns got to know if they're making a trade for him that they got to pay him.
They're
going to. I think that's the next thing. Like, I read something that said that it's up to Aiyuk. He's got to really work out the deal of what he wants. If one team gives you a better chance to win, the other one gives you more
spending money. I mean, he'll spend it.
He will spend, and Andrew Berry will take risks, man.
Yeah.
He is willing to to put it on the table.
Yeah, he's done it.
To me, I would definitely make the trade with Amari Cooper. As much as I don't want to, in the end, yeah, and you could even argue that maybe there'll be no significant difference between the two this year. But you can't, if you're not going to be able to trade for Brandon Aiyuk next year, okay? And if Amari Cooper's gone next year, then what do you got? All you got is Jerry Jeudy. So even though it could be a net equal or even, because you point out we don't know for sure he could be a number one consistently, it might be a slight net negative for just this year. It's possible. I don't think it would be, but I'd still do it because I know that I got a frontline wide receiver for the next 3 years after this. And I may not be able to get that guy, certainly not him specifically, but I may not be able to get that a guy of that caliber, period, where I know Amari Cooper. I mean, first of all, Amari's been had some injuries at the end of last year. He's 30. Ayuk's 26. He's never missed significant time due to injury. I don't think he's ever missed more than 1 week in a row. I don't think he's ever missed back-to-back games in his career. So go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
One thing to keep in mind here, and this is something we totally missed yesterday, bad job out of us, but when the Browns reworked Cooper's contract a couple of weeks ago, they essentially paid his salary up front. His number in terms of a cap hit if he gets traded for the next team he goes to is like $1.2 million. If they were to trade Amari Cooper, the Browns, they'd eat, and this is according to Zach Jackson, who works at The Athletic with Jason, $29 million in dead money over the next 2 years.
Yeah, who cares?
They can spread it out over a few years. It's not just 2 years.
But I'm just saying that's a big number.
It is.
I know you can spread it out, but a big number for a guy who you already essentially paid his salary for this season.
Well,
which is something to keep in mind when you're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't.
I also think that, to be honest with you, the Cleveland Browns for the past few years been a good organization. They've taken care of people. They could have done Nick Chubb completely dirty, but they said, you know what, he's been a solid piece. We're not going to do that. We're going to give you some money. Same thing with Coop. Coop's come in here and done everything you asked. He's been as productive. So it's like, all right, we're going to take care of him. We're going to take care of him to this year.
Right.
We're going to make sure you get some money this year. And if they trade him, like I said, the deal to me made it seem like, all right, we did our part. You can't be mad at us because we're giving you $20-something million no matter what, whether you with us or not.
Right.
But we're not going to pay you past this point. But we can put you in a situation to where you can succeed, you can enjoy. You're 30, so I don't know how many years you got left. So we're going to give you a chance to even go across the way and win a Super Bowl, be productive in one of the best offenses. You'll be a good threat there. Like it's. To me, I don't see how Coop can be mad about it. Only thing Coop can be mad about is that he said he want to be a Cleveland Brown.
Right.
He wants to retire Cleveland Brown, and they trade him. That's the only thing. But outside of that, when he sits back and look at it like, well, they gave me my money, and they put me in a position to win a Super Bowl ring, which I haven't done. What more do you want?
Would you? I don't even know if this makes any sense, but I'll throw it out anyway. If you, from your perspective, would you rather the Browns trade Cooper and a second round pick, or just a first round pick?
Just a first round pick.
Yeah, that's too big a difference.
Yeah, I would just take a first round pick.
Yeah, or a first round pick and another player who's not Cooper.
But the Niners aren't going to take that deal because they get a one from a team that's much worse than the Browns. It's going to be much higher in the draft.
That's true. So you're giving up more.
Yeah.
Can we trade Jerry Jeudy in the deal?
Well, I thought about.
I think he can be traded, can he?
I thought about that coming in too. Actually, as I was driving up here, I thought about that. So remember when they traded for Jerry Jeudy, and I said, you know, it's interesting how the Browns went and got a guy that's from South Florida that went to Alabama that runs good routes. Guess who his mentor is going to be? Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
So we know Amari Cooper's been holding out, right? He was holding out. He missed like all of OTAs and he blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, that's crazy that they didn't get no work together. Well, I read a report. Did you report this? Somebody reported that Amari Cooper has been working with Jerry Jeudy all offseason.
Oh.
So he done groomed him up.
Okay.
He done told him the game. He done taught him everything. So it's like,
all right,
Amari, we're going to reward you with this paycheck. And if Jeudy knows how to be successful in this offense, thank you very much for your services.
I mean, wouldn't you rather trade Jeudy than Amari Cooper?
But real quick, can you?
I don't know.
I don't know if you could trade for a guy and trade, because in basketball there's certain stipulations, especially when you sign a contract.
I don't think there's any rule about that. I don't know.
Is it similar in football, Jason?
He signed the extension, but he was already under contract for this year.
Yeah, I don't think there's any sort of rule like that with football.
I don't want to say yes or no. I don't
know. I'm just asking. I
don't
no idea.
think.
I mean, it's rare that you see a guy get traded and traded again.
I don't think that there's a rule that would prohibit them from trading him. I don't think.
In the end, I mean, if I have to trade Cooper, I'd do it. I'd like to see what this offense looks like with Cooper and Aiyuk.
I'd be devastated.
Well, then you hoping that they'll take Elijah Moore in second or first.
Yeah, Elijah Moore has no value.
That's the other rumor I've seen on Twitter.
It's going to be Elijah Moore. You'd have to give up a lot. I mean, Elijah Moore's just a toss-in. He doesn't add any value.
I don't see the Niners doing this deal any way that doesn't involve Amari Cooper. If it's the Browns,
don't see. That's the thing. And when I see people like throwing that out there, it makes me like y'all trying to. You're not about to fleece nobody that. Right. I don't. This ain't man. Why would they do that? I don't understand.
I don't understand.
Why would
It doesn't make sense. I'm just looking for something.
We got 2 wide receivers between Amari and Elijah. Both of them contract is up after this year. Why would I not take the one that's more productive?
Right.
That makes sense.
Of course, yeah.
It's curious to me that of all the teams that have been linked to Aiyuk at this point, the Browns are the only one that are legitimate contenders. Steelers are not. Commanders are not.
Yeah. Patriots are not.
I mean, I guess we've said any team in this division could win the division. Although I'd put the Steelers fourth on that list.
Yeah, but they're a contender to make the playoffs. I don't think they're a contender to win
I don't think
the Super
anyone's
Bowl.
picking the Steelers to go to the Super Bowl.
No.
My only issue with it all is
Certainly not the Patriots.
No, they stink.
Is the receiver room that bad?
The Browns?
Yeah.
Watch Amari go down, and then let's talk about that.
But my question is, my thing is, it always ruffles feathers to be like, if I'm a part of that unit, and like we didn't win all OTAs, we in camp, and all of a sudden, you looking to make a trade or receive what you said, we ain't good enough. You ain't like what you see.
That's what we're saying. That's exactly what
we're trying to win a Super Bowl. We need to be as good as possible in an AFC that is loaded. And an AFC North that is loaded.
I guess.
Can I ask one more question?
Please.
They made it very clear in the report from both ESPN and NBC 49ers on NBC Sports.
You're struggling with that, Mike.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it doesn't. NBC Sports San Francisco. The Browns and the Patriots had agreed to some sort of framework. And in the ESPN article, the Browns and the Patriots had discussions at least. Both different outlets mentioned the Steelers, but not to the same level as the Patriots and the Cleveland Browns.
I'm pretty sure I saw something yesterday. I don't remember where it was from, but that said the Steelers were out of the mix.
That was Mike Reese. He said that they just hadn't gotten to the same plane. Is there any chance, and I'm just throwing darts out here, I'm not trying to say this is real. Yeah. It's just like those are specifically coming out to try and get the Steelers to up their price.
Sure.
Of course.
Like Aiyuk secretly has Pittsburgh as his preferred destination, and that's where, if all this is true, that's where he wants to end up, so he's trying to jack up the price.
I don't know why he'd rather go to the Steelers, but I know they've been a much better organization, but they don't have a good quarterback situation.
Especially when the reporting originates out of a 49ers beat writer.
Right.
And I've been used before that way when I was a beat writer with the Cavs.
or whatever, to get other teams in them. This reporting could be out there just to get other teams involved.
How did you feel when you were used?
I realized it after the fact, and it's not great.
Okay.
It's not great.
I got a miscellaneous question about it all. Do you know who the because I really wasn't paying attention to him a lot last year. Who is the nickel for the Niners?
I can tell you in a sec. Hold on.
Why, you want to bring Greg Newsome into the mix here?
Well, I know that's if they ain't gonna pay him, you could flip two dudes because if they nickel not good, you can get a productive nickel.
De'Amondre
Lenore, he's actually decent. He be playing outside, I think. I think he's pretty decent. I think he's
listed as their nickel with Charvarius Ward, who's very good, and Ambry Thomas as their two outside cornerbacks.
When's the last time two teams who were trying to make a Super Bowl made a trade on a high-impact player like this?
Right, yeah, not like
this does not happen very often.
It is weird.
At all. Now, it's different conferences.
I would think.
But still.
Yeah.
The last time I seen.
Well, Stephon Diggs got traded to.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
But
To Houston. I mean, that's in the same conference.
I was actually thinking Minnesota to Buffalo.
No, I'm saying Stephon Diggs got traded from Buffalo to Houston.
No, you're right. You're right. I guess that does count.
If you're the Bills, I was surprised at the time.
Yeah.
Because that trade could have pushed the Texans ahead of the Bills in the AFC pecking order.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, the Bills are going to be maybe like, he's such a pain in the ass, he's going to screw things up there.
Yeah. It's still rare. It's very rare.
It is. That was very strange.
Yeah.
Remember when Donovan McNabb got traded to
Washington?
Was
the Redskins good at that time?
I don't remember if they were a contender at the time, but you traded your starting quarterback who'd been an excellent player. In the division, yeah.
That's almost like we don't believe in this guy anymore.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't wrong. It is not like he had a ton of success there. That's crazy.
He did not.
Yeah.
He did not.
That's like Jimmy Graham and who did the Seahawks trade for Jimmy Graham? Wasn't it like a center?
It might have been. It was an offensive lineman. Yeah, I think you're right. And Jimmy Graham just went off the cliff.
I like Jimmy.
Did you play with him?
Yeah, Jimmy paid for my dinner.
Oh,
He paid for my dinner one night, so I got nothing bad to say about Jimmy.
That's all. If I just pay for your dinner one night.
Well, this was like a $600 bill.
You have nothing bad to say.
I mean, have you heard him say anything bad about anybody, really?
Never.
There you got a point.
He's not like the rest
of
us.
Can you guys name the center who was traded for
Max
Jimmy Graham?
Unger? Is that his?
Nice job.
Great Paul Tyvis.
Wow. Good job out of you.
Sports guy.
That guy sounds like the name of one of my great uncles, not a football player. But anyway, Mike, by the way, when I was away in Seattle, I went part of the time I went to go see the new Deadpool Wolverine movie. Mm-hmm. For those who like such things, it was fantastic.
I'm seeing it tonight.
They said it was. I've heard nothing but 10 out of 10 and 9.5 out of 10.
Fantastic. Have you seen the Deadpool movies?
Yes.
They're hilarious.
Yes, they are.
And
people said that they laughed. They
the whole time.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Wolverine movies?
I seen Logan.
Okay,
yeah.
So it's fine. But you don't really need to see the Wolverine movies to watch this. You need to have seen the Deadpool.
I've seen one Deadpool.
I've seen both.
I haven't seen any of the Wolverines. Have they merged before, joined forces before, or is this the first time?
No.
I know nothing.
Well,
don't. I'm seeing it tonight.
Okay.
I got one more Aiyuk question, then we'll move on to the stadium talk.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you think we get a conclusion today, yes or no, to an Aiyuk deal? Whether it's Cleveland, New England, Pittsburgh, another team, do we have finality to this saga?
I would say until we see, because what could be happening is ESPN's late to the party on this story. They like to pretend that they weren't behind the scenes, so they could be lying and saying, "Oh, things are just starting," and then they're going to co-opt the story and pretend they've been on top of it the whole time. So I think it'd be further along with ESPN if it were that close.
I tend to think we're going to have a resolution in the next 24, 48 hours. Just the way that it's picking up steam here.
All right.
I think
maybe by tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going
to say tomorrow.
I was going to say tomorrow. Tomorrow. While on the air.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That'd be perfect for y'all.